Oh, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in ages. How are you? Oh, are you having issues right now? Oh.
Had a really rough day at work.
Oh, okay. Look, I know exactly what you should do in this situation because I actually had that happen to me a few weeks ago. And what I actually did.
I mean, if all you're going to do is jump in and talk about your life and how important
Okay, I'm sorry.
you
Yeah,
are.
no, I know. Yeah, look, if you would just listen to me for a second, I can help you. Everybody comes to me with their problems, but nobody ever listens to me. Doesn't it often feel like nobody ever listens to you? You're a solver. You're a problem solver. You know, you've got that brain that thinks about things. It's easy for you to come up with these ideas and scenarios where you know that your idea is actually the right one. And if the other person would just listen, they wouldn't be in their situation right now. Yeah, it turns out that's actually wrong. That's totally the wrong way of dealing with somebody else's problem. So why is it exactly a problem when people don't want to solve their problems? It's not that they don't want to solve their problems. Sometimes people just don't want their things that are bugging them to be fixed. What it is them reaching out for validation. This is how we check to make sure the way that we're feeling is totally normal and that it's okay that we're feeling that way. Most of the time, we don't really talk to people about our issues because we want the problem to be solved. We just want the problem known. We want others to know that we're struggling. That's the issue when it comes to OCPD. We have that very, very tough black and white thinking, that idea of on and off, problem, solution. There's no real gray area in between. There's no real room for emotional understanding. And the other issue is control. My way of dealing with this is the correct way of dealing with it. And if you would just listen to me and do as I say, it would just make things so much easier. It would make things easier for you, and it would make things easier for me, because obviously I'm right all the time and you are wrong. And that is not a good way to think. And that is definitely not a good way to act in civilized, polite society. You're not right all the time. I'm not right all the time. I've gotten so many of these videos already wrong that one of the reasons why I've been hiding from my channel is because I know I have to go in there and I have to delete a bunch of videos, and that's okay. I'm cool with that, but that's a huge problem, and that's a problem for future Eden, not for present Eden, because present Eden is here with you right now. It's in our nature to not really want to listen to what the other person's trying to tell you. We're not really listening, we're just waiting for our turn to speak. These are typical mindsets of somebody who has OCPD. This is also a typical mindset for an autistic person. I've talked about how there are a lot of similarities between OCPD and autism in another video, obviously, and that chronic black and white thinking really comes into play here. And the funny thing about humans is that it's very easy for us to get defensive if we're experiencing a particular type of emotion. If we're really happy, we don't want someone bringing us down with their Debbie Downer downness. And if we're sad, we want someone to understand that we're sad, and somebody trying to tell us what to do and boss us around to try and bring us out of our sadness is just going to make us feel worse, because we don't feel we're really being heard. We don't really feel the problems that we're having are being validated. What can we do if we are trying to talk and connect with someone about a problem that they're having and they're just not listening to us? Well, actually, there are a few things we can do there. Come with me. Let's go. Come on, let's go. So, you're having a conversation with a friend.
Hi.
And they've got a problem.
I've just had a really rough day at work. I've just got this co-worker and she's so annoying. All she does is nitpick my work, and it's just, oh, it's awful, and I want to just throw her out the window because all she does is complain. If we just launch straight into it with, well, she sounds like an absolute mess of hot garbage, and I think the best way to deal with her would be to steal her spacebar. I had that problem with a coworker like that a few years ago, and it was a nightmare to have to deal with. But see, what I actually did was I took her Diet Cokes out of the fridge and I opened them all up just a little bit, just to let the gas out, so that way every time she opened up a can of drink, it would be flat. It was hilarious, oh my god. But yeah, like over the course of my life, I've had if all you're going to do is jump in and talk about your life and how important you are with all the things that you've done, then I don't really know why I'm here. Like, why do I even bother telling you these things if all you're going to do is divert the topic back to yourself?
Okay, sorry. I'll load this one over here. She obviously doesn't want me to suggest ways to sabotage her co-workers' efforts. She just wants to be known and heard and understood that what's going on for her is a problem.
Okay, that didn't go so well. Let's try it again.
but this time using some reflective listening. So, you're having a conversation with a friend.
Hi.
And they've got a problem. You can say something like, wow, really? Your coworker sounds like they are really, really frustrating to be around.
I really appreciate that, thank you. It is awful.
Reflective listening. You're listening to their tone, you're listening to what they're saying and what they're trying to communicate, and then you're responding by putting a feeling to it and describing the situation that they're in. This is a great way of connecting with someone without having to solve their problem. The next thing you can do is say to them,
I love this job, but I hate this person, you know?
is there anything I can do to help? I'm always happy to offer my own thoughts on what's going on there between you and her, but if you don't want that, that's okay. By doing that, by asking them if they need help, you're asking them, do you want my input?
I don't like this person, but I love this job, so I'm cool with working where I am to put up with it, but I just need a little bit of space to complain about how crappy she is as a person, because she's pretty awful. I just needed someone to let me know that it's okay I'm feeling that way.
We get very defensive when we're in a heightened emotional state, so turning around and trying to solve a problem straight away is just gonna make the person shut down and feel completely invalidated, and we don't want to do that. It doesn't matter what's going on up here, as long as what's coming out your mouth are words that are encouraging and that we are actually listening to what's going on. We can find ways of navigating through people's problems, and sometimes even just letting someone vent will allow them to get all that stuff out of their brain and then find a solution to it themselves.
I mean, I really like this job, but I'm starting to think that maybe it would be best if I moved on. I mean, I'm kind of bored at work anyway, and I wouldn't mind a new challenge. You really like to talk a lot, don't you?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
You're funny.
okay. So next time somebody is trying to connect with you and tell you about their problems, rather than coming into the conversation expecting that you need to solve the problem, you can just simply ask them, how can I help? The problems that people bring you are not your problems to solve. You're just here to let them know that their problem matters. I'm sorry, I forgot to do an outro, so here's a bunch of free stock footage of friends doing friendly things. We should listen to our friends, except when they talk too much about their problems. Then we need to be setting really healthy boundaries that say, hey, I get it, you have a problem, and that's okay, but you've been talking about this problem for 6 hours now, and we're not really any further ahead in solving it. So maybe we should take a break and eat some pizza, but we're gonna order 2 separate pizzas because I don't share pizza with people. Brands and pizza.